Welcome everyone to the Co-Creators Convergence Thursday night Creator Convo. I'm Noelle Marshall and I'm here with my beloved.
Hi everyone, it's Bob Warner. Nice to have you with us this evening.
He's the keeper of the Facebook and also our website, and that's where you're going to find all the recordings to all the wonderful calls we've had. We're here every Thursday night and the first Saturday of the month, because we have a noon broadcast then so that our international friends can join us. And those have been very well attended. So what I'm going to do is I see some new faces here. So before we start with our guest that our dear friend Kate Roberts has brought, Ms. Imani, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Co-Creators Convergence. So hold on just one moment. So that is a little bit about the Co-Creators Convergence. Now, without any further ado, I want to turn this over to our dear friend Kate Roberts, and for a centering and introduction of Ms. Imani. So thank you all for joining and looking forward to a wonderful evening together.
Indeed. I'm Kate. I'm here in Western South Dakota, in the homeland of the Lakota, the Oseti Shakoween, the 7 bands of the Lakota in the Missouri River watershed. And I was invited to the Co-Creators Convergence in 2016 and have got to know all these beautiful people since. And so here we are in our little squares. Let's envision we're all in a circle and take a couple of conscious breaths together. That inspiration of love and compassion. And we'll breathe out peace. And as our imaginal tools allow us to think that we're in a circle, put your symbol of peace in the center of that circle. And let's all just take a seat in our heart around that symbol of peace, as we visualize the medicine from all of our ancestors in all of the directions being here with us in this circle. As we all know, beloved Bob and Noelle are they've been advocates for peace and fund makers for a long time. So when I met this other longtime advocate of peace and fund maker, who may have been exposed to different visionaries and elders than some of us had, I thought we need to hear her story and what she has to say and how we can play together. I think the words that come to mind when I think of Imani are practical and prayerful and playful. And Imani, what would you like to tell us about yourself?
Oh, thank you so much, Kate. What I would like to tell you about myself is I think the biggest emotion that I've been experiencing in the last little bit is gratitude. And it's always been a goal for me to be grateful for my life and my opportunities. And, you know, those of us who are a little closer in, my story in the last few years involved a house fire. And so it took me a minute to get grateful and get back in my body. And now that I'm back in my body, I am really having this very positive experience of like, my life is better than it's ever been. My heart is more open than it's ever been. I am seeing more the very, very quick what I call woe manifestation instead of manifestation, the woe manifestation, because I say whoa to how quickly things are happening. I'm a spiritual humorist. I've been called a ceremonial midwife. People call me Mama Mojo, Ms. Imani, Imani Ma, Mommy, Martha. I was born Martha Laurie Overlock in Eastern Massachusetts. And my people came over from Germany and from England. And my great grandmother came over as an unwed woman and went to Maine and birthed her son and raised her son. So there's some other stories about my other grandma. So I come from women who are independent. My mom, my mom worked in outside of the home at a time when moms did not work outside of the home. So I was, I was raised up by some very strong-willed women, and I was surrounded by art and music. And I always knew I would play an instrument, but I never found it until I was 28 years old. And that was when I met the drum. And I met the drum through, first introduction was through Joe Roberts, long-term Asheville resident. He lived out in New Mexico for quite a while and then came back to the mountains. And then Daryl Rose, who at the time was residing in Nashville, Tennessee. And then the man who opened the door to the drum for me was Babatunde Olatunji. And he was a Nigerian man. His ethnic group is Yoruba. And when he came to this country, he came as the son of the king to study political science, to go back to Nigeria to continue on in his lineage. And when he was in Atlanta, he received a full scholarship to Morehouse College. He recognized that he could do more to change the world with music, with drumming, with storytelling, with dance. And by gathering with other Africans and African Americans to actually tell the story of life in Africa at a time when Hollywood was less than respectful and the civil rights movement was happening in the country. So I was raised up by advocates of music and peace. Baba always said the world will know peace when there's a drum in every household. I took that quite literally as a drum maker, made many drums for many households, and always just sort of said, okay, so how do we do that? Another very important person in my life, her name is Ellie Painted Crow. She said the same thing. And she is a Mayan Yaqui woman who had a vision to start an Indigenous woman-led drum group called Turtle Women Rising, and to go to Washington, D.C. and make a stand for peace. And we have 4-day drum vigils. So when we started the drum and we continued for 4 days. And she said her vision also included the world will know peace when there's a drum in every household. So here I am. Let's see, that's like I'm just like 50 at the time. I'm 62 now. I'm just 50, and I'm like, and I'm really contemplating, how can this happen? How can there be a drum in every household? I let it go and I go on about my life, and I keep coming back. How can there be a drum in every household? Because Baba said it, and Ellie said it. And you know, when you hear something once that touches you like that, for me, I pay attention to it. But when I hear it twice or 3 times or 4 times, I'm going to do this. I'm going to really, really put my curiosity, my impact, my nature of discovery behind how can I help make that be? I figured it out. There's already a drum in every household. It's right here. It's right here. So how do we take that? How do I take that to the next level? Okay, so there's already a drum in every household. Baba would, I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to hear him sing or see him play or see any videos, but please do yourself the favor and go explore Babatunde, Babatunde Olatunji, Olatunji. He opened the door for women to play drums in this country. And I'm one of the lucky ones who got to be underneath his wing right there for lots of years and get pushed out of the nest and told, you go play drums, you go make drums, you go teach, you go do this, you go do that. Because the world needs the drum. The world needs the medicine of the song and of just being able to come together and play drums and have fun. And so, so that was a real core influence for me. And I'm dyslexic. I had some fevers when I was a baby that impacted how I'm able, but I'm very sensitive. So I have no real insulation on the nerves in my brain. So I'm very sensitive to energy. I'm very sensitive to thought. I've always been a seer. I've usually hid behind, things and taken it in from the distance. And in the last 10 years or so, I have really been praying and thinking and feeling and following the guidance about what does peace feel like. And I've been, I have an inordinate number of blessings of elders that have said, hello, Imani, would you walk with me? Would you play music for this, and that? Would you help me out over here? And there's plenty of places that I've been where I've just been a participant and there's been an elder or a younger or whatever. And I just show up and say, how can I help? Is there anything you need? And I think that those two things, one, the instruments that I play, I was very blessed to be a caretaker of a pan art hong. That was one of the finest instruments in the world per the community of hong and handpan players and makers. And so I saw myself sitting behind this instrument. And if these elders really loved this instrument and they wanted Ms. Imani to come and support them while they prayed. How lucky am I? That was my response. So I was blessed to travel the world and see and experience many cultures, of women coming together and praying together and working together and supporting each other and having conflict with each other and working it out in a really respectful way. And yes, the biggest thing about the vision for SoulFire for the earth that I want to just sort of touch into, because like, you know, this is a lot of me talking about my history, my where I come from. Okay. And I am a modern person. So I grew, you know, I have a certain responsibility to share with you how I got to where I am. And this is really kind of challenging for me because it can come across like I'm telling you all these really cool things I did. And that is true, I am. And what I'm really trying to tell you is that these people saw something and they put something in me and they said, you go do it. And I'm doing my best to do that. And I know that we all have somebody in our lives like that. Maybe it's our grandma, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a teacher, maybe it's a child. But somebody's going to see something special in each and every one of us. And because of my brain injuries, I was slow enough to stop and pay attention to that.
So Imani, it was these drum leaders that you met and the women that really inspired you to start full SoulFire for the Earth. And what are your aspirations for SoulFire for the Earth?
I was told that if I could get 222,000 people to come together in prayer and dance with the drum, it would be a really good thing. I was told that 30 years ago, and I wasn't brave enough to say it until about 9 months ago. So what I have started is a grass skirts movement to bring 222,000 people together on purpose for peace. Remembering, like, just drumming and dancing and getting out of our heads and getting out of our words and getting into the experience of the rhythm of life. That's the ceremonial work that I come from, is circumambulating a ceremonial fire with anywhere from 100 to 500 people. No one really leading, songs emerging, rhythms emerging from the collective. And so in order to actualize this vision of 222,000 all around the planet on each continent, there wants to be little posses over here and little posses over there, circles over here and circles over there. And so my life's work has been dedicated to what are the recreatable set and settings, conditions, and ways of relating that encourage people to feel safe, to have fun and play and pray and grieve and transform through magic, through engaging with this frequency of sound and rhythm and heart-centered intention. There's a critical mass that is generated. And what the elder who shared this to me saying it would be a really good thing if you could ever do this, Imani. What she said is that when the people dance like this, there is this energy that is generated. And what will happen is that the people will rise up. They'll rise in their hearts and their consciousness. And she said they rise above the earth a little bit so that spirit can come down underneath and sweep underneath the feet of the people. And when that happens, the people will come back down, they'll come back into their lives, everything is good. And then spirit can work with the people, because all the crisscrossing and crazy and things that have been done in the name of spirituality and religion that have been harmful to people gets swept away. And because we all unify in the drum and the dance and the song. And so yeah, I think I have set myself up for the rest of my life, or maybe at least the next year, who knows, maybe we will come together with 222,000 at some point in 2022. But then the significance of the numbers, I woke up one morning and it was like, oh, you got to do this now. So I did.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the peace chamber on your land? And It's my understanding that it's just new that people have been dancing in conjunction with the peace chambers together.
Well, the dances have been with the peace chambers have been happening. I think the first dance came late 80s, early 90s. So the peace chambers are the grandfather, the visionary, the grandfather for the peace chambers, his name is Joseph Rael, also known as Beautiful Painted Arrow. And forgive me that I'm not able to speak his name in his native language. He is an elder who lives in the Ute lands of Colorado, and he received a vision in Sundance to build chambers all around the world that were dedicated to world peace and to the oceans, to clean water. And so the first year he looked around, he went to all these different places and he was looking for the place to build the first chamber. And he was home and he was sweating in his sweat lodge by his garden. And this council that gave him the vision came down and said, okay, where's the chamber? And he said, I've been looking for it. I haven't found the right place. And they said, right here is really good. And they gave him the child. The child's name was Dawi. And he started building that first chamber later that afternoon, much to his wife's chagrin of digging up the garden and such. So that was in Bernalillo, New Mexico. And there are multiple numbers of how many chambers there are. As an organization, that level of detail has not really been centralized. So the chamber keepers and the dance chiefs and the drum chiefs are really working to get all of the numbers of how many are still functioning as a peace chamber, how many have been sold and are no longer a peace chamber, and how many are no longer in form. So the number I was told when I started taking care of the Swatanoa chamber was 74. And the chamber that I take care of is the 18th. So that one most accurately represents his vision. The math is slightly different from what his vision was, but it's an elliptical dome. It's 36 feet long by 24 feet wide by 18 feet tall. And he dug the foundation footers for the chamber. He blessed the chamber. He lived on the land there for quite a bit. And he really got involved in the building of, in the raising of funds to build these chambers and the actual building of many of these chambers. So he was very much a man who walked his talk. One of the things that he would often say is work is worship, and matter, breath, and movement are the three things in motion here. And so I feel a pause to take a breath here and just they're built on purpose. They're built with a purpose. And these buildings, whether we're there in them or not, they're self-generating. They have been ceremonially activated to emit a frequency that is recognizable through dowsing rods. And when the chambers were first blessed, a man named Richard Crutchfield dowsed the impact of that first ceremonial awakening to 30 miles. And when he came back, I was at the chamber for about 3.5 years, and he was dowsing. He said, "This doesn't really have so much to do about you, Imani, but just want you to know that the chambers are generating at 400 miles. And then when we were working with a group with Peter Champeau and Tyson Bannigan, Peter dowsed, and he received the number that the chamber was generating at 600 miles. So they generate on their own. The human interaction tunes into that, and it gets amplified. So it's always good to be mindful of what one thinks or says or does in the presence of a chamber, because it gets bigger. So I love that I have those numbers to be able to look at over time and to be able to see how the interactions, how we're working as a group. Because while I'm not sitting in front of the chamber, which was my intention was for the chamber to be with us, but the Wi-Fi intention was otherwise. So it's still here with me because I have a relationship with it. And one of the things that Joseph tells us is that we all are chamber keepers, because we have the cranium, we have our head, and this is a chamber. So you can work with sound just by humming. If you close your mouth and you can start to feel different places in your skull, in your cranium, in your chamber, where the tone will resonate more. So I'm just going to invite us to take a breath and play with some sound here. So I want to invite anybody to take themselves off mute and share with us what you experienced. Oh, you may not be able to take yourself off mute though.
Hold on 1 second. I'll allow people to be able, you can unmute yourself now. I will put it in gallery view. So if anyone would like to join the conversation here. Okay, so I'm going to tell 2 stories. One was that I was in college, I was in graduate school, and I used to hum all the time. And that's why my boyfriend broke up with me. Good riddance. The other is Cathy. The other is that as a kid, they have a baby jars, a baby food. And I would take the top off, the little metal top, and I will put that in my mouth and I would hum with that. And so I really like the idea of humming. My father always said I was happy because, I say I was humming a lot, but I never really thought about that until, you're bringing that up. But if anybody else has any crazy stories they want to tell, that'd be fine. You can raise your hand or just unmute yourself. I think I made it so everyone could, you can unmute yourself. Let me see. Yes, they can unmute.
It was interesting when you invited us to hum, Ms. Imani, because I started with one particular tone and there wasn't anything there, and then I changed it. And as I moved the hum, my whole face was resonating. So it makes a difference.
You want to get that queued up?
Well,
Awesome.
And did you have a place in that changing that was more pleasant and more, I don't know, exciting or challenging? Did any of that come in?
Just the recognition, mostly just the recognition of, oh, it's activated.
Mm-hmm.
The recognition of being activated, of the resonance being activated down, and recognizing that if I had played with it, if I kept going, I could probably get that resonance to travel.
Awesome.
Yep.
Wonderful. And Gail, if you'd like to unmute and join the conversation, that'd be wonderful. There you go.
Thank you. I had already spontaneously started singing a song that came to me in the dream time, and I ended up translating it based on the sounds that are on Beautiful Painted Arrow, Joseph Rail's website. So I brought that together with my Cherokee grandmother Raven's book, where she translated the numbers, and finished that song with some ancestral Tsalagi vocables, and it's for the bees. The dream told me when the song started that the song was for the bees. So I was just finishing that song when you invited us to hum, so I went right into the ending, and the timing was perfect. It was a beautiful experience. Thank you so much.
Yay. Good evening, Gail. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't open my video. I would, but it's disabled. I'd love to do that at some point if I can. See all of you. You can see.
Go ahead and try it one more time, Gail.
Yeah.
There she is. Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
Sorry
Thank you
about
so
that.
much. Here with all of you, and I love Imani's drumming. Yeah. And we're actually, we just created a shamanic drumming together, and we're going to be dancing to that in the World Unity Week, probably with the Global Center for Indigenous Science and Ancestral Wisdom, maybe even on the solstice, 5 o'clock, 5 to 6. And then we're hoping that people will show up at the Peace Chamber and dance this transformation dance with us and with the final music that we composed for this guided ritual transformation dance to balance power. So I love that Imani's close, and she's right over on the east side of the same mountain, which is our sacred mountain.
Gail, is that, would you put that information in the chat? And is that going to be at Ms. Imani's, or is that another place that you're doing this? The
We're
ceremony?
hoping the dancers will come to Ms. Imani's Peace Chamber and dance there right in front of the Peace Chamber. There's a beautiful big open dance booth, and the rest of us will be on Zoom dancing in our own space.
Ah,
We're gonna
gotcha.
join together. Yeah.
Very good. All right. Does
And
anyone else want to jump in
these
here?
ladies, I just wanted to add that these ladies just recently met. They're on the opposite sides of the same mountain. And Atacrul, helping many people, is the native name of that mountain. Isn't that correct? Yeah. And so I thought it was so interesting that both of these ceremonial music people, one I met in a women's 4 world circle, the other one I met in another circle. And so I got the privilege of introducing these two. And yeah, these dances have just begun.
Thank you, Kate.
Blessings to the spirit of your home place, Sister Gail.
Beautiful. I do have a video of yours queued up, Ms. Mani, if you would like me to play that a little bit.
Sure.
Okay, hold on.
Tell them where it is, right here.
Okay, it is SoulFire for the Earth 2022 song share. And we'll just play that about 2.5 minutes. Let's see if this comes across okay. Hold on.
From the soul of the earth comes the sound of our drum. The soul of the earth, she gives us rhythm and hum. The soul of the earth, she gives us food to eat. The soul of the earth, she gives us water to drink. Mama, sweet Mother Earth, thank you for my life. Mama, sweet Mother Earth, with you we all do thrive. From the soul of the earth comes the sound of our voice. The soul of the earth, she gives us freedom and choice. The soul of the earth gives us songs to sing. The soul of the earth is the wind beneath our wings. My sweet Mother Earth, thank you for our lives. My sweet Mother Earth, with you we all do rise. With you we all do rise. With you we all do rise. Let us rise. Blessed to be. So I have a little story about what that next one that was coming through with the grandmas. That song is called New Way, and I tell you what, walking as a ceremonial musician and personal assistant for the International Council of 13 Indigenous Grandmas was probably the most awakening thing I could ever have done for myself, to be the caretaker of a peace chamber, and to be the caretaker of ceremonial dance grounds, and to be a grandma in a handpan community, and, you know, grandma to my children and the children that I get to meet, because there were 13 women. Generally, there were 11 or 12 at the council gatherings, and they're all as unique as flowers in the garden. Just some of them are bright orange, and some of them are pure white, and some of them are big and bold, and some of them are just, oh, you can smell the scent through the night sky, you know. And I was really impressed with the complex situations that I won't say often, but we found ourselves in, from being in Japan and a tsunami coming through, and the whole gathering site being, you know, we couldn't go to the gathering site, and within 48 hours there was a plan B in place because of the admin team and the team of grandmas. The grandmas were on the prayer part, and the admin team was on the logistics part. And I somehow got to walk between those two worlds of being in service to the grandmas and running errands and being connected with the admin team. So I don't have an admin team over here yet. I am a biological grandma, and I'm midway to being an elder. They say that when you turn 52, you're an elder in training, and when you turn 72, then you truly are an elder. So I'm 62 this year. I'm at my midpoint, and I'm thinking about and putting into practice all of these things that I have learned, because we live in a society that has a lot of conflict. We live in a society that has a lot of complex things to unwind and take care of. And everybody that I've ever had the pleasure to walk with, they say, make more music, have more fun, laugh more, make more art, make more offerings, take care of each other, carry more water, chop more wood. You know, these simple things that I don't know. You know, I learned manners, and I taught my children manners. I'm not sure that that many in my generation fully got that. You know, and there's a consequence to that. When we forget to say thank you for my life, when we forget to say thank you for this precious water, when we think of it as a commodity that we buy in the store or turn on in the tap, rather than a being that gives us life, or in my opinion, I'm just going to be bold, we're out of order. And so I turn that feeling and guidance and understanding into an invitation to explore what it means to be in relationship with water as an entity, as a being, what it means to take this flute out to the water and play music, or my drum, or put a handpan on my back and actually give myself some work to get up the mountain, to go and sit in some place to just play for nature, you know. So that when I come back down and I intersect with the people, and you know, it's like I live in a very beautiful place. I am very, you know, my closest neighbors are trees, and deer and bobcat and bear. Think I've seen 25 bear this season, you know. So that's unusual. And so, but it's not, it's what modern culture in many ways has forgotten about. And so I just got blessed up by these women who didn't forget. Their lineage is intact. Their training was intact. Their mothers and their fathers and their grandfathers and their grandmothers gave them what they're taking care of, and what they're saying, hey, Imani White, we want to give you something because we trust you to take care of this. So I want to instigate people who are trustworthy to take care of this. Because it's really, you know, the old ones, they didn't have any money like the way we do. They didn't have any greed the way we do. And we just, if we can get back to simple, music can be simple. It's easy to entrain with a row, row, row your boat gently up the stream. Come on, people, share a joyful dream. You know, whatever it is, we all hopefully have had some kind of entrainment with those songs, that from you know, mama holding us to humming all the time, Grandma Flor de Mayo. When you catch it, join in. Her mama would hold her and would hum like that. And now she, as a grandma, holds the entire universe and hums like that. And she reminds us to do the same. Joseph reminds us to chant the vowels for world peace. You know, these instruments, you know, I'm here to be one of the ones to say, remember, if you have an instrument, you have a tool to play for peace, you know. And as soon as you put that into vibration, as soon as you put that into movement, change is happening. And you know, I'm gonna go back to what Grandma Bertha said, Imani, if you can get 222,000 people together doing in ecstatic prayer and dance for 3 hours or up to 4 days, things will change.
Excuse me, Miss Imani.
Yes.
Couple things. Do you happen to run across Susan Christensen? She was a documentary filmmaker, and she interviewed the 13 grandmothers and followed them around the world. I don't know if you were part of that. She was on our Co-Creators Convergence, and she shared with us her documentary that was actually got aired on PBS.
Yes, and while those were grandmothers, they weren't the
Yeah.
indigenous grandmothers, a little different set of grandmothers.
Ah, okay. All righty. The other thing is that I don't know if you're familiar with Mayor Cromwell, who also, she does a Thousand Goddess Gathering.
Yeah.
And so she, this last time, did it with drummers around the world. And they had drumming organizations from all around the world joining the goddesses. I think that was with Jim Petruzzi, Kate, if I remember correctly. But that was a big drumming event. I don't know if you were a part of that. It was also coordinated with the folks at Unity Earth and World Unity Week. Right? So
yeah, when I hear things going on, I may not be so much out on the online, but you can bet your britches I'm playing drums at the chamber.
And Imani was really imploring us to drum the date for a while. So
yeah,
we're still kind of doing that, right? The time. So like 6-3, 6-4. If you could drum for a minute at that time in your time zone, it's to have a wave of drumming around the world. You know, so we could, it's kind of like the global silent minute. if we can all honor that on a daily basis, just 1 minute of our time, it kind of keeps that
A-
rolling.
A particular minute or a particular?
Well, the date, for drumming the date, so like 6:04 a.m. or p.m., whichever one you're up, correct? Or I don't even know
Yep.
the date. 6:10 now, isn't it?
Uh,
6:09, 6:09.
That's what I'm trying to figure. Your math is good as mine. So on those dates, how do you drum? How do you drum the date? I'm still a little unclear.
Okay, so it is the June 6th. So at 6:09 p.m. I do have a drum right here. I'm just gonna do it. We're gonna pretend we're gonna time travel, and it is 6:09 somewhere, and I can play whatever rhythm I want. May all beings know peace. It's as simple as that. And we were aiming for something that was easy to pass on. And so it's, 6:09, 6:10, 6:11, 6:12. If you're up early in the morning, drumming in the morning. If you're up for dinner, maybe having a drum prayer at your dinner hour. It's really I'm an idea generator, and somebody who wants to see all of the many, many, many amazing groups who are doing so many amazing things. The dream is that there's some amazing Virgo organizer, or whatever the astrology needs to be for that person, to be able to track all of this and just like have us all focus at the same time. And I'm just I don't have the skill to manage that, but I definitely have the vision of it. I have the dream of it. So when I play drums in that kind of way, I invite that to come forward. I invite the cooperation to come forward, the collaboration, invite me to participate in something so that I can know more about what other people are doing, so I can know how to give more gratitude for the work that's already being done all around the planet. And I had the pleasure to meet Barbara Marx Hubbard when I was with Grandma Flor de Mayo, and there was very, very deep resonance with her teachings and what I was discovering through the prayer and the drumming and the study that I had been doing up until that point. And so I think it's I love how the universe works to bring me back into the circles that are the daughters and the sons of her beautiful work.
That's beautiful. Imani, I do have another video lined up, and it is Babatunde Olatunji. Can I just play just a couple minutes of him drumming, just to get everybody?
That sounds great.
Okay, hold on just 1 second. I just wanted to do that to give everyone that. Now, he was your inspiration. He was your teacher. Is that correct? You're muted.
He was my Baba. He was my teacher. He taught me how to play drums and how to be a woman, like how to take care of myself. Like he really watched out for us. He really, you have to understand that in the mid to late 80s, it was not there were not any women's drumming groups that were known about. The only ones that were known, that were happening, were ones that were secret societies, you know, behind the veil, so to speak. And so, yeah, he was, he also gave me the ceremonial fire. He blessed us. He asked us all one night to play drums for him because he wanted to pray. He wanted to talk to God, and he changed all of our lives. He blessed us in a way that changed my life.
Now, Imani, I'm over in Johnson City, Tennessee. I can't imagine I'm that far from you. So
No.
how do, people come and see you?
Generally reaching out directly right now. So it's been mostly word of mouth and direct invitation. So I am reachable through my email. I'm reachable through the Facebook, through SoulFire for the Earth, as well as Imani White.
Wonderful, thank you. And Michelle just put in the chat, did you just see that shooting star behind Miss Imani? She's a magical being, ladies and gentlemen. We have a confirmation from the universe.
That's great.
I also want to add that
all I saw was, did you see the shooting? And I was like, oh, I didn't see star. Oh, I'm real grateful.
I just wanted to add that you could see Imani every Tuesday and Friday on the connection field for the fire ceremony in the morning.
Yeah.
And we can put that link in the chat, I think.
Yes, please put that in the chat. Yes.
Yeah.
I also have a website for the sanctuary, which is called soulfiresanctuary.com. And I have a personal website that I've been, I'm so almost close to being really happy with it, and it's beautiful. And so I want to invite you to check that out if you want to learn more about myself and where I come from and how I move, and ways to come over and drum and dance, and ways for me to, I love people gathering to drum, dance, and pray for peace. And I'm quite good at instigating that. And I'm quite good at passing the skills over. And that's what I want to do. So I'm still a little hard to reach. Sorry, not sorry. Please, if you want to know, like, if you know you want to figure this out, come and play. Figure it out. We'll find each other. The door's open.
Beautiful. Does anybody else want to jump in here? We're getting close to closing, but invite everyone. Eileen, you have had a smile on your face this whole time. So I know there's something that you want to share.
Because it's Smile Week. Eileen Smoke, and I'm in the Pacific Northwest. I'm in the northwest corner of Washington State. And I found the good of the whole and the fire ceremony about a year and a half ago. And they call me every morning. It's a family. So I invite you all to come and join us. It's really fun every single morning. And Ms. Imani's there every Tuesday and Friday. It's pretty cool. But when I was humming, it's pouring down rain here because we're having another atmospheric river, they call it now, but it used to be called the Pineapple Express. And our gutter has a problem, so it's overflowing. And so it's just been whooshing down. But when we were humming, it stopped. And then when I stopped humming, it whooshed down again. So it's really strange. But I appreciate the invitation, Kate, and being here. It's been fun. I'll tone it down.
Oh,
Keep shining.
please don't tone it down.
Imani has this, she has just this direct connection with the natural world that's so obvious.
Yes.
And she's such a natural leader. And she has the ability to teach how to become more connected with the natural world. And her capacity to co-create is huge. And so I'm glad you all got to experience how fun Imani is. And, you know, I look forward to where this interpretive dance between Gail and Imani with this mountain and all the history behind it, where we can potentially go with that. And yeah, if we can join during World Unity Week, the potential of getting this 222,000 is so very real. Leverage all your networks of grace. I can only imagine, you know, how many people Noel and Bob and Tex and Gail and Eileen and Heather, all of us know. So I'm just so grateful that y'all came and got to meet this magical little, and yeah, I should have mentioned how she plays with words. So Miss Imani has had a big impact on me.
I noticed that in her description of her topic, and I put that in the chat. That she likes to work, W-E-R-K, and a few other things. There's a lot of wordplay there too. That's wonderful. I love your spirit. And if anyone does, you know, if anybody else wants to jump in the conversation here, we just have a very few minutes. Gail, what mountain is it where are you located?
We're on the same mountain. It's our sacred Tsalagi mountain, and its name is Atadu, which means helping many people. And you'll know it, Noel, probably as Mount Mitchell, named that botanist that fell off the up there long time ago.
I don't remember what work you're on.
Yeah.
Came back.
Yes, I do know it as Mount Mitchell. Also, there's a lot of peace sanctuaries and things on Black Mountain outside of Asheville. Not far from there, I believe.
Right. I mean, Black Mountain is the next town over from Swannanoa, and Swannanoa is the next town over from Asheville. Looking at it that way. So yeah.
Yeah, not that far away. We need you to come over here and do a service here at a Unitarian Universalist church if you do any traveling anymore.
I would love to. I stopped in Johnson City recently. I was over there to visit a friend. So had I known you were there, I would have come by. Yeah.
Well, don't come to Johnson City again without contacting us, please.
Understood. I will make sure to save all information and contact you. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you ever forget, just ask Kate. She knows how to get a hold of us. We see her a lot, almost every morning at meditation. So I guess we will close now. Go ahead.
I want to just add, everyone, if you can look up Joseph Rael on YouTube, he's really a fascinating man. And Imani, it's my understanding that the chambers all do a ceremony, maybe toned together on the 7th. Is there any way we can join in that effort?
Yes, very much so. On the 7th of the month, Joseph asks the chambers to hold a fire ceremony, and there is a YouTube video that I can get. I don't have it here, but I can get it out for everyone. And he talks about the intention of the fire and the purpose of it, and shows how he builds it. And and not recognizing that not everyone can build a fire, you know. So there's a candle, you can work with a candle, and recognizing that not everyone is going to be able to sit and have a candle. There's this spark in your heart. So it's the 7th of the month at 7 p.m. in your time zone. And to you know, if we were with the fire, it generally we would sit quietly, and it takes about 20 minutes for the fire to burn down. We notice, we meditate, we listen, and then we come together and share what we experience to find the continuity through our individual experiences of the same fire. And
Wonderful.
yeah, so.
Okay. And I believe Michael had his hand up. Do you want to unmute yourself, Michael?
I want to thank you very much for the invite. For those who don't know me, I currently reside on Musqueam territory in the Coast Salish Sea. I was born on what is known as Toronto Purchase territory. I am a traveler. I have lived in many worlds. I have learned from many elders in my life. The Creator brought me on my path to bring me to this place where I am now. I have the pleasure of meeting Imani at the Parliament of Religion gathering, and it is because of her that I came into this space today, as well as with Tex. I asked him if he was going to be coming. I'm not really comfortable to be speaking of myself. I have a trouble with vanity. I did grow up in the institution of the Catholic business. This is my 62nd rotation around the earth, same as Imani. Bless up, Imani, for your last birthday. I like to write poetry, spoken word, things that I'm a dance man. I'm not a singer. I don't like to sing. I don't want to kill my Bird Nation friend them. But I have grown up with the taste and the young man's age of the colonial, but call it colonial, but I call it the Babylon system, construct of what we live in and how we have to be in a place, why we fight for our human rights when we built something that is now controlling us and we have no control of it, as well as that's foreseen in different ways of knowing that I learned that other people had the same vision in that way of knowing, ways of knowing. I would invite anybody who would like to get to know the inside of me to go to the Facebook page, A Grandfather. This is where I disseminate things that come through me, just as this powerful woman, Imani, has the spirit of vibration that moves through her. You're absolutely correct that she is well connected to the universe and the earth, Mother Earth. One thing that I would like just to say, as far as being in this space, I want to give with great love and respect, and I thank you for the invite to be included in this friendship clan. To the four directions, I lift up my heart to you in service of this truth. The heart of your heart is felt within me, and I shall honor your intentions with the wisdom that it deserves. My compassion shall weave between us to create a love that we can share to become the culture of tomorrow's children's children. The fire is lit for all my relations. I want to say bless up, prayers up, tobacco down, love all around. I am without mother and father at this time in my age. My father passing away last year, my mother passing away in 2007. Prior to that, I came into the knowing of 13 Indigenous grandmothers coming together. Then my mom passed away. Since my mom passed away, I've had the grateful and gratitude to have much strong, beautiful women come into my life, because I was raised by strong women. And I know that she is there. It was brought people such as yourselves and into my life on my path. I am currently on a journey that has been given to me by the Creator for the last 7 years, being prepared my whole life for this. I do walk alone, but I'm not lonely. And I have come to know quite many people in my younger age who I looked up to. John Trudell, people who were of the healing. Again, in my younger life, I was subject to abuse, both physical and I walked with a path and healed at a very early age with another woman who had been abused. And we journeyed together in our early 20s when we came together on a healing journey. And so I have been able to walk in that healing space and be given those experience to have the shoulders for others to stand on so that the eagles could fly over the mountains. Again, I would like to thank you very much for being in this space. I know much about many of the people that are here in this organization, and Unity Week and different luminaries. I've had the pleasure of meeting many people that I had looked up to in the ways of knowing that we're outside of the construct of which I spoke of earlier, which I'm very blessed to have in my journey. I would like to share more with you, anybody, at another time, but like I say, I'm not really good at bringing myself out of a place and into a spotlight. But I support people who do the right things in a good way. And yeah, so just wanted you to know that my existence does not depend on what I have or what you see or what you think of me. But my existence depends on my waking day with the moment that I stay in. And I've meditated my whole life, and to keep from falling into the past and chasing the future, I'm very grateful to be in this moment with you. Many blessings. Oh, which
Beautiful.
thank you very much for being such beautiful women and men and putting your heart and love out there for all to see. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Since we've met Imani on the Morning Fire, we've Joseph Rael has brought this Seeds of Peace chant.
Mm-hmm.
So Imani did this beautiful 40-day prayer, and, she teaches all along the way. And so we really listened to the Seeds of Peace chant. And I think, oh, wouldn't it be lovely if maybe 222,000 of us might do that chant together one day. It's really beautiful. Check Joseph Rael out. And Imani's just an ambassador of all things beautiful in this world. Thank you, Imani.
Thank you. Thank you, Cathy. And Imani, would you like to close us out with the final words tonight? And before we do that, I just want to give another thank you to Michael for sharing your heart so deeply with us. Beautiful. Really,
Thank you.
really moved me. So thank
And
you.
I want to thank you for creating that space, both Bob and yourself, for other people to come into the space. Thank you for doing so and creating a space for people to be able to do that with their heart without judgments. Thank you. I've witnessed that many times, and thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's our joy. It's our joy and honor. Thank you. I do want to, before we do close, I see Tex has had his hand up, and Tex, I'd like to turn it, go ahead.
Thank you. Very briefly. Thank you, Michael, for the message, checking if I was going to attend this evening, which ensured I did attend. I thank Ms. Imani for presencing here with us and harmonizing us. I have this profound feeling that we've been in communion this evening, this group, and that your drumming has harmonized our hearts, really. And I feel that very soulfully. I didn't expect to be living this experience this evening. I came almost like reluctantly in a way. I was feeling a bit, I had been up very early. Anyway, thank you very much. It's been profoundly stirring, and I will be dwelling on that. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Kate, and Imani, and the one who spotted the shooting star for a very special moment. Thank you, Bob and Noel. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Good night. If you'd like to unmute and thank Imani, however you would like. We're just so grateful.
I'd just also like to thank the people that invited me here, and the vibes were just great, and it's hard to describe it. That's a lot to take in, but thank you very much. It was very good.
Yeah.
Thank you, and you're welcome every Thursday night, Robert. We'd love to have your great company.
Thank you.
Been wonderful, and I have enjoyed your smile, Heather, throughout the evening. And thank you, everyone, for jumping in. And Imani, final words?
Yeah. Oh, great Spirit, hear our prayers. Oh, great Mother, we know you care. Walk with us now. Talk with us now. Oh, great Spirit, we are living prayers. We give thanks for the opportunity to be here together in this time and in this place. We give thanks for our ancestors, both physical and spiritual. We give thanks. I'm over here in Catawba homelands. I give thanks to the Catawba people, thanks to the Tsalagi people. Give thanks to these ones and zeros and this convergence of conscious co-creators. Give thanks for every little thing that brought us to here and now, and all the beautiful things that we're doing together. And if there's anything that we forgot about, I'm going to say thank you to Creator for taking care of it for us. Have a really, really beautiful night, everybody. And
Thank you.
remember to give it away. Share it with everybody that you come into contact with. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Peace and love.
Mm.
Thank you, Kate. Awesome.